Yo, 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 you already know we back in another video, Jimmy Bones President. You know how we do. Today I want to talk about which one is better between my synths, the Hydrasynth. It's a whole complete digital synthesizer, and then the ROLAND Jdxa, which is a analog digital hybrid. Now, of course, you probably will be thinking, of course, the Jdxa is better, which I do believe is better. I like this synth a whole lot better though, but if you go online, you will see people praising the Hydrasynth as like the second coming. Recently, a new synth came out, the ASM Leviathan, so that's been praised as the second coming. But when this was, about a year ago, 2 years ago, when this dropped, this was praised as the second coming. A lot of people didn't like this synth. They felt like it was like overrated, things like that, and they felt like it was overpriced. The full version, this is the small version, the Explorer version, the compact version. So a lot of people will say it's not a fair comparison, but I'm just talking about the sound that it get and just the features that it has, even with the full version. Even though I don't have the full version though. This costs more than the full version. This is like $2,000 synth. This is a $500 synth, and the full version of this is about $1,700, maybe 18, 19. But it's still less than this. A lot of people swear by this. They think this is the best synth ever, and I see why. It's very hands-on. You don't have to do a lot of menu diving. A lot of people say that you do, but I completely disagree. This is a menu diving synth. This is a partially menu diving synth. You can get most of your sound just by turning these knobs, for example. Couple buttons. I ain't going to the menu. I just touch a couple buttons. So this synth is very powerful. And like I said, this is just the compact version. This is the cheapest version of the synth. So this is not a exact fair comparison. But we're just talking about the main basic features of the synth. As opposed to this is an analog digital synth. Sounds more like this. Before I lose my mind and forget that I'm recording a video for you guys to explain the differences. Like I said, this is digital and analog. If I want, I could turn off the whole digital side. This is just it's the analog side, or I can turn off the analog side. Turn this off. Completely different sound. This also has a sequencer. Also has a microphone. This has a lot of effects on it. It has an extra output, a pure analog sounding output. No digital parts, it's just pure analog, which is another advantage that this has. And this is why I feel like this is way better than the Hydrasynth. Even the extra, the flagship version. That's what you call it, right? Flagship version. A lot of people will probably argue with me in the comments. No, this is better. The Hydrasynth is better. I think it's easier. It's more immediate. It's more satisfying. What do you call it? Instant gratification. If you want something with instant gratification, get the Hydrasynth. It has polyphonic aftertouch. No sequencer, so you don't gotta worry about that. You gotta sequence with something else like the MPC or the computer. And like I said, instant gratification. Yeah. Instant gratification. Couple buttons, touch here and there. You gonna get what the fuck you looking for. Pardon my language. You gonna get what you looking for. But this always sounds a little thin to me. A lot of digital sounds sometimes sound thin. You know, there is an analog thing inside of here that makes it sound a little more vintage and analog though, but it doesn't hold up to this analog sounding engine. This to me, this is my flagship synth. This is my bread and butter synth. I get most of my sounds out of this, and then I layer them with this. You know, so this is a $2,000 synth, so this should be way better than this anyway. Even though the flagship version of this is like 17, I believe, like I said before. But this is instant gratification. A lot of people, you know, don't like this one because there's a lot of menu diving. The biggest con of this is the fact that there's a lot of menu diving. A lot of menu diving. So that's where this is where the Hydrasynth wins at. There is menu diving if you want to get into the more advanced, expert, you know, features of this synth. But for the most part, you don't gotta touch the menu. I don't touch the menu for the most part. Like I said, I just layer, so I don't gotta touch the menu. If I want to save a sound, it's the only time I gotta touch the menu. Or yeah, to set up MIDI when I first got it, I touched the menu. So the Hydrasynth wins at that instantly. Instantly. Polyphonic aftertouch. Yes, that's the wave right there. Polyphonic aftertouch is the wave. And I wish this had polyphonic. If this had polyphonic aftertouch, I might sell this. That might have been the leading point for me to sell this, but it does not. There's no polyphonic aftertouch. I don't know why. I think it has per channel aftertouch, but I'm not sure. But I know it's not it doesn't have polyphonic after. It reacts to polyphonic aftertouch, but it doesn't have it though. So you know, that's where this wins at completely. Where this wins at is an analog engine. You can run the digital side of the engine through the analog filter. Even when you get the flagship version of this, it only has 2 synth engines. You can separate each analog part into 4 or layer them, and each digital part you can separate as well. So, like this is bi-timbral. I could separate it. It's like, come on, it's a no-brainer. And this has a vocoder. This microphone is plugged into this, so I can either talk on the mic, pause, or I could use it as a vocoder. And it's very good. Just gotta get a better mic. My mic's kind of terrible. That's why I don't use this talking. I just talking straight to the, the camera, because this is a bad mic. You gotta get a better one. Sequencer, bad sequencer though. terrible sequencer. The younger brother to this, which is the Jdxa, has a way better sequencer, hands down. And it has a drum track, which basically makes you be able to make a whole track with. But it has a sequencer. My guess is Roland's way of thinking was they wanted you to have, they felt like people who at that time still buy hardware synths, it's a luxury, and they wanted people to stay within their ecosystem. So they expected you to get the Jdxa as a sequencer for the drum tracks, smaller version, and use this as the main sound engine. That's what they wanted you to do, obviously. That's why more people had the Jdxa and just didn't get this at all. Bad decision. If Roland was smart, they would have put the sequencer that the Jdxa have inside of this with the extra drum track, and it would have been great. But a very good plus about this is Roland has a bunch of sound banks free to download on their websites, and you can get I believe the drums from the Jdxa, the 808s, the original classic 808s and all that, and it has a bunch of sound banks. You get the Juno sound bank and the Jupiter sound bank, so no brainer. What are we talking about? This gets a very bad rep. This is underrated. This is not overrated. This is judged fairly. This is a great synth. People online tell you this is a great synth. Believe it though. If you're looking for something that sounds completely different from any plugins though, I can't say that this will satisfy that. I believe Serum is the one that they use, and they say this is basically Serum in a box. So with that being said, yeah, this is, it's either Omnisphere or Serum that they say this is very compatible to. So, but there is no plugin that replicates this. So if you want something original, then you can really get something that no software can replicate completely as of this time in 2026. This is where it is. Like I said, polyphonic aftertouch, instant gratification, great build, looks nice too, black and orange, you know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at this. I have no regrets for getting this machine. Especially for the polyphonic aftertouch. This has a great key bed. I got this for a great price. I did not spend $2,000 on this. I wouldn't have. This is what turned me away before. I actually got it because of Todd Smith Synth. I believe that's his YouTube page. I put a link in the description for his YouTube page. Shout out to him. He convinced me to get this watching his videos, and I got it for a great deal. I think I got it for about $800, between $700 and $800. So I got a great deal for this synth though. And like I said, it sounds amazing. I haven't even ran through all the effects. Oh, another thing that this completely destroys in, and I haven't even touched it yet, but from what I've been reading, is the mod matrix. It's amazing in this. I've used it a little bit, and you can basically route anything to anything. Not so much in this, which you should be able to, considering how much it costs and how nice it looks. I would if I didn't know any better, and I seen these two, and someone asked me, do I think I can route every, I would assume that the mod matrix on this is just as strong as this. It's not. This is not very, this is about a bad mod matrix. This is a great mod matrix. This has the macros too, where you can assign different parameters to these macro knobs. So, like I said, on paper, this outshines this. But you gotta play this. Any synth enthusiastic, any Roland synth guy, I feel like you should try this once if you have the chance to. You will not be disappointed. There will be a few things that get you mad. the terrible menu which you have to use to do most of your shit, and no polyphonic aftertouch, only 49 key bed. The key bed's not all that. It's alright, kind of average, but only 49 keys. It should have been 61. I'm happy it's 49 because it fits on my desk perfectly. You can see it in perfect view from the camera, right? But this should have been 61 at the price. You should have had polyphonic aftertouch. Sequencer is terrible. Like, that's the problem with this. This has no cons, except no sequencer, and it sounds kind of like this has a bunch of cons, but I still prefer it. That's how good of a synth it is, and how deep it is. This is deep too. Not gonna lie, but this is deep as well. You know, so I would say, depending on what you're looking for, if you don't have any plugins at all, I would recommend get this. If you have a bunch of plugins, if you have Omnisphere, Serum, and you have a pretty good MIDI controller already, you might not need to get this. This will still benefit you from the analog side, regardless. The bass in this is amazing. In my opinion, it's even better than the bass in my Model D. That's my opinion. The bass in this is stereo bass. You can't beat it. That's just my opinion. Hopefully someone can prove me wrong and show me how to get a bass that's comparable to this out of this Model D. But until then, this is my bass. And yeah, if you, hopefully I can help somebody with this, and hopefully I answered some questions from somebody who wasn't sure what to get their hands on. There's not a lot of hybrid synths at this price point anyway. I think the Novation is like the closest you'll get at this price point. That's truly hybrid, and maybe the Korg Prologue. But they approach their hybrid synthesis different than the way this does. This routes the digital side through the analog filter, and this layers as well as separates. And you know, it's multi-temporal, so what are you talking about? But you already know, Dreambone's president canceled the election. Teflon Shogun. This is Shogun 13. Digital analog. I'm out.